What's going on, sports card hobby family? Have you ever seen Larry Bird play basketball?
Guard this, little boy. Ow, my hip! Larry Bird! Hey, oh, here you go. Psych! Larry Bird! Gotta watch your head, young fella, cause it's Don't worry, Kevin, I see you. Just gotta give it a little and with that little jab step back. Oh, ain't that unfortunate? Dag nabbit, I'm behind the backboard. Larry Bird.
We've got some info about eBay floating around the rumor mill. Heard it through the grapevine on the old Twitter machine and thought that I would immediately share because it could have some possible big ramifications for sports card buyers and possibly sellers, but definitely on the buying end. Before I start, huge thanks to today's video sponsor, COMC.com. Are you on the hunt for that next NBA superstar or looking to find some Hall of Fame hockey autographs? Look no further than COMC, the growing 35 million card inventory, an absolute treasure trove for collectors with all the options to suit every taste and preference. User-friendly COMC interface allows you to filter and search for cards with ease, ensuring you find exactly what cards you're looking to add to your collection. Start your COMC journey today. There is a link down below in the video description as well as in the pinned comments. All right, word on the street is that eBay is going to add a buyer's premium. You heard that right. That's something that is brand new to the eBay space. And for those that don't know, eBay is number one globally for buying and selling sports cards, trading cards globally. I think I said globally already. So they're taking a little bit of a risk here. This will be interesting to see kind of the reaction. Will they lose people? Will they gain people? All that stuff. So I'm sure they're going to be running numbers on the back end to see if this is profitable. Because man, if they automatically add a 3% buyer's premium to all the transactions on eBay, that's a lot of dough. But of course, the big question is going to be, is that going to, cause people to say, okay, hold up. Like, I don't want to pay the 3% buyer's premium. Another thing I thought about is the buyer's premium in part because of the authentication fees. Remember going back in time, we got this free authentication through eBay. If it's a slabbed card, I think if it's a slab card, it goes to PSA, and if it's a raw card, it goes to CGC down in Sarasota, Florida, and they check it out and make sure everything is kosher. They send it back to you. But man, how long ago did they do that? A year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago? And that costs money. It costs money. I assume that eBay has some sort of a deal and arrangement with them to make that happen, but it's not free to do it. And so now we're seeing a 3% buyer's premium. I'm curious, is that to kind of cover these added costs by, again, grading authentication on the back end? Because that's essentially what they're doing is they're authenticating that piece for eBay, for the buyer. And so 3%, does that bother you? Would you pay 3%? Would you stay on buying cards? Here's the other thing that I've noticed too, regardless of which auction house we're talking about here, people will go and buy from whoever has the cards that they want. If it's PWCC, if it's Golden, if it's REA, whichever is Hakes Auctions, whoever has the item that they've been searching for that they collect, that's where they're gonna go. Unless there's really exorbitant fees, stuff that just doesn't make sense. A lot of these items are one of a kind, or they've been searching for it for years. They're just going to eat a buyer's premium to get it. That's just kind of my feeling. Now, if we're not talking about necessarily rare stuff, if we're talking about really kind of run-of-the-mill cards that you see all the time when you're shopping, and you can kind of get this anywhere. Does that affect eBay? Do people just say, you know what? I'm just not going to buy this on eBay. I'm going to go somewhere else where I'm not paying an added fee. Or is it just that 3% is minimal enough to where people are like, like if I go to other auction houses, maybe you're paying a 10% buyer's premium or 15 or 18 or whatever it is. So maybe eBay has just kind of done the research and thought, you know what, this is kind of a happy medium. This is a low-ish fee, and maybe people won't even notice it. Of course they're going to notice it, right? And also, we don't have confirmation from eBay on this as well. So let's just kind of keep that in mind. This is rumor mill stuff. eBay has not confirmed that I've seen anyway. So this is something that somebody has put out there into the universe and may or may not be true, but it's not out of the question. And so I think that it is worth talking about. It actually makes sense. If we're going back to the authentication that they added for trading cards, for now it goes all the way down to $250 or lower. That's a lot of cards on eBay that they're having to go and send off to either CGC or off to PSA to get figured out. I mean, those are fees that are getting passed along to the consumer in some way, and this seems to be maybe a way that they are paying for it, as opposed to saying like, hey, check this box if you want to pay extra to authenticate. There's clearly something going on the back end where eBay wants to make sure everything looks good and is authenticated, and doesn't want to give people the option of like, yes, let's authenticate, or no, I'll take the risk, because their platform as a whole is under scrutiny. I would assume the platform, if there's something that's off that's being sold there, it's going to be under scrutiny. And so they're going to make sure it's mandatory that it gets authenticated. So I am speculating on the rumor. I'm speculating on the speculation that this 3% fee is to help pay for all the authentication costs, because I don't think that PSA and CGC are just doing that to be nice to eBay. Hey, we're going to do this for the community. No, they're definitely not doing it for free. Also, as part of the rumor too, it says consignment companies, some of the larger ones, got a break as far as fees and that sort of thing goes. So maybe that's starting to get more competitive too on the consignment side with eBay. Once we have more information there, we can talk about it. But this is interesting because eBay, again, still after all these years, I started, my account was opened in 1999, 25 years later, eBay is still number one for buying and selling sports cards on the planet. So when they make changes, if this change is true, this would be a pretty big deal, I think, for people that buy, sell cards, because it's going to affect just about all of us. Everyone is at least buying some cards typically on eBay. I know there's a lot of people that just buy at shows or buy in person, that don't really buy or sell online. I know those people exist, but a lot of folks on the old eBay machine. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would this stop you from buying on eBay? Or is it kind of like, you know what, 3%? I can live with a 3% buyer's premium, and we go on. I feel like this is something where this could also be where people are like, screw eBay, I'm never gonna buy on eBay, forget them. And then as soon as it's passed, like 6 months later, after that 3% is added in, people just forget about it, they don't care anymore, and they're still buying cards on eBay. Again, I'll go back to, if they have the cards that consumers want, that collectors want, speculators want, whatever, that is where they're just gonna pay it. People are gonna pay the 3% is what I would guess. All right, friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, have an amazing holiday weekend. Talk to you later.